Optimism isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's fixing things, changing the way we fix things. It's running the world on smarter energy. Because if optimism never stops, then change can't either. GE Vernova, the energy of change.
Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant.
Whoa, that's refreshing.
And a 9.5 plus pH for every way you move.
I did take a Spain class today.
Restoring like a pro. Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Anyone can follow. It takes something special to be an original, which is why the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV arrives with new ways of surrounding you in luxury, including the ultra-wide 48-inch panoramic display and the multi-sensory Lincoln Rejuvenate experience. A true original never stops evolving. So meet the 2025 Navigator, the original that's all new and better than ever. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Lincoln and Navigator are trademarks of Ford or its affiliates.
Welcome to the Uptown Parlay Pod. I'm your host, Ace. We got Malik, Levon, and Ant.
Get up.
What's good? What's good?
Yo. All right.
Yankees are in game 3, getting it look like they might pull out this victory, move themselves to the ALDS to play against Toronto, who, if you've watched Toronto play this season, I do not like this draw for the Yankees one bit, but we'll see.
Bill's character.
You know, you can only play who's in front of you.
Makes the championships more richer if you win.
We want to talk about, it does, genuinely. We want to talk about, we can't let Toronto. We want to talk about, we're going to start today talking about the overtime rules and why that terrible game on Sunday ended in a tie, which wasted all of our damn time and had people burnt out watching NFL football from 9 a.m. to midnight on Sunday. Which a lot of people complained about.
But Ace, with the overtime thing, if you kind of think about it, it was originally created in the first place because they had the ties in the beginning. So it's like, oh, we got to do something about it. They actually fixed it, but then we unfixed it because of, those other situations.
I mean, obviously they want to fix it to try to, they don't want to try to eliminate ties, because if they want to eliminate ties, then they wouldn't allow ties to happen. It's relatively easy to do that. But they want to allow for all the teams to have an opportunity to possess the ball and potentially score. And if you're going to do that,
then you need to make the OT longer, though.
Then you should make the OT a 15-minute quarter, because
didn't it used to be that?
It was. Well, actually, before it was an untimed quarter. Because
it was on time. Because of sudden death.
First score wins.
Death. You know why I like sudden death? It adds an urgency to it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you don't get poor Josh Allen, a chance to get on the field, people start crying.
You know what? The Bills need to be better.
I think that you could do it. You could do it where you ensure that both sides get a chance to score or get a chance to possess the ball, and then.
Okay. But do it on time.
Untime it for the next part. So, like, you got however long to 10 minutes to possess the ball, and if it's still a tie after those 10 minutes, then its next score wins untimed, and you just play until the next score.
Malik, you probably might remember this. It was an NFC East game back when McNabb was playing for the Eagles, and the game ended in a tie. He said he did not know that the game.
He didn't remember there was. Yeah, he didn't know ties could happen
because it was a 15-minute quarter and the time ran out and nobody could score.
Yeah, he didn't know the rules. I remember that.
Yeah,
he caught heat for that.
I think they fully. That's why they fully explain everything now.
He was like 8 years in the league too. He wasn't like a rookie. This was like 2007. He got drafted in like 99 or 2000.
Well, I mean, if you've never, in his defense, there's no tie. They don't do. There's no ties in high school football. Right. No ties in college.
Not anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? They don't do ties in college or in high school football. So it's completely possible that was the first tie of his entire football career that ever happened. And so he never even considered the possibility of there being a tie, and read the rule book about it. I doubt. I would assume that at least 90% of NFL players don't read rule books.
Yeah,
Like
they only read their plays and stuff like that. What they got to do in front of them.
If you're the quarterback, you could kind of be aware that this game could end.
Maybe the quarterback. That's what I said. 90%. Maybe the quarterback should read the rule book, but everybody else, nah.
Vaughn, what do you got to say? Was it just that Dallas game, or was it all the rules in general?
Malik just said something outrageous, so I need to comment on it. But if you're a professional you're being paid money to do a job, a lot of it, and you do not know the rules of your profession, that is indefensible.
Do you know every rule? That's fine. I don't know. I will be honest with you. I don't know every rule or every guideline or everything that's associated with my day-to-day job. There's definitely rules that my own job probably has that I've never heard of before.
So once again, we're talking about your own job versus $1 billion industry in which not
job
only
conceptually,
but the concept is the same.
We all work in
the concept is
$1
the same.
industries.
Gambling, all this money involved, and you telling me the athletes involved cannot know. That's like offensive lineman saying, I didn't know what holding was. I had no idea that you couldn't take 2 steps without dribbling the basketball. You need to know the rules of your sport.
That could be something that just doesn't come up. That's the thing. That doesn't come up. They're not thinking about it.
You don't need to know.
No, you need to know the rules of your sport. Where does it end? I don't know the rules of overtime. Okay, so if somebody, I don't know, does something egregious at the end of the game and you ask them, well, why did you do that? I didn't know. I couldn't do it. You'd be like, are you serious?
Well, again, that's what I'm saying.
How did you get to this level?
Your coach, no. Your coach, because you're an amazing athlete, your coach needs to know the rules of the game. Your coach needs to know it. That's his job to know.
Okay, wait. To that
your
point,
your head coach,
to that point,
they
so you
should
don't
know.
Think at some time in OTAs, mini camp, rookie mini camp, training camp, next to the playbook, they shouldn't give the rule book to each and every player?
I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying it's perfectly reasonable to assume that not everybody reads every rule in the book. That's all I'm saying.
That's a pretty significant thing. We're going to overtime. Do you know how we can win the game?
To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised that he did know. I wouldn't be surprised that they went over it and stuff like that.
Grounding? What is intentional grounding consist of? What are the rules for that? Well, you got to be in the tackle box. I can admit if a DB didn't know exactly what that was, okay. But the quarterback of your football team in an overtime game did not know that it could end in a tie? I can't believe you said in his defense.
I really think that he might have known it, but they might have went over it in what's the name, OTA and all that stuff like that. It's just that since they don't go through it all the time, it goes away. You just think about your playbook of this week of how you matching up this week. You're not thinking about stuff like that.
About the
funny thing to me is that it's a simple question, right? Like, first off, the ref tells you the rules for overtime before he flips the coin.
He didn't always do that.
We don't know if they did that back then.
They didn't always do that, Malik. They didn't. They do it now.
Well,
they do it now, but
I remember distinctly when they started doing that was after the that whole debacle with the coin flip.
Yeah,
the coin flip. I don't know if that was the coin flip debacle was when they started doing it because I can't remember who it was. They flipped it. And they said it was tails, and the ref was like, I heard heads or whatever.
And that wasn't it?
That was Jerome Bettis specifically. I remember he was like, after that, I said this. Yeah.
It was after that, they stated the rules outright, and ever since then. Yeah. So if they tell you the rules at the beginning of it, they tell you it's a 10-minute time quarter. Everybody, both sides going to get 2 timeouts. You can ask the question, could it become a tie? Could a tie happen? And they said, yes, sir, a tie could happen. Like, what happens when we get to the end of 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever? What happens? Well, then it's a tie.
I mean, you might look silly on national TV because you asked that question. Everybody's going to be looking like, the shit you know? You have LeVon talking about it all over again.
So. Last thing I
back to your original point.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say on this real quick. Imagine every child that's played Madden hundreds and dozens of times and has played an overtime game and knows that it can end in a tie. And that grown man who plays Madden probably, or maybe he doesn't, or maybe he has kids.
I don't think Donovan McNabb played Madden back then.
He had no idea that he's a quarterback for NFL. Anyway, overtime rules. My point of it is I agree with Ace. I think when overtime was sudden death, it was way more exciting. When the first team who got the ball, whoever was first to score, won the game.
Yeah,
When
stop
Josh
him.
when he didn't get a chance in that playoff game, they decided to change it. I didn't agree with it. I don't like how it is now. I really
But
don't like how it is now.
You know why he didn't get a
because,
chance? Because Kansas City scored a touchdown. Not because they got a field goal, because they went down the field and scored a touchdown. And
was it when they did that, it was a touchdown, or was it when they
Yeah,
just
that's how
had a
it
field
goes.
goal?
Yeah, it was. The rule used to be if you score a touchdown in overtime, game's over.
That was it.
Well,
At
no, the
first, it
first
was
rule
field
was
goal.
the first rule was sudden death. So
First
you
was
could
any
get a field
score.
goal,
And then they changed it to
any score.
first
Then
team
they
to
changed
score.
it to touchdown.
No, it was
It's a
first
touchdown.
team to score a touchdown wins, but a field goal
Yes.
tie. Like I said, yeah, they changed
A
it so
field
much.
goal,
It's
the other
just,
team gets a chance to get the ball, and they can go
it's
and
just-
tie it, or they can go for the touchdown.
Yeah.
even
And
baseball.
and that's the reason why with the field goal, like with the any score, I wouldn't like that at all, because nowadays, I mean, if you play against Dallas
True.
and Brandon Aubrey gets over to 50, game's over. Like that's that's it's hard to say, yo, stop, because look, you kick the ball off, right? If it lands outside of the zone, or if it's a touchback, they get the ball at 30. You got to go 20 yards. Now
Yep.
you can only defend 20 yards, and then all of a sudden you're in the kicker's range.
That's just
So-
with
Yeah, 'cause the
him.
kickers
though.
got
Not every
legs. They
kicker is
strong.
kicking
No,
70-yard
I-
field goals.
Who
Shoot. I just saw
Nick Folk just kicked a 60-yarder last weekend.
Old
but
man
that's not
Nick Folk came off the
that's not
retirement home with
every
90 years
kicker.
old.
Not every kicker is nailing.
Most
60
kickers
plus
nowadays
yards.
can hit from 60.
There's
good
like
big
12
most
kicker.
kickers
Good
nowadays
big
they
12
practice
dudes
from
in the
60.
league who can do it. It feels like they're all on the juice.
But what I wanted
Except
to
for the
ask,
Asian guy.
everybody's
That's why I
doing
think that's why he got
different
cut, maybe.
What I wanted to ask was, in you guys' opinion, which league does overtime the best? Like when a game is going into overtime in that sport, which one is the most exciting to you? I'll say mine's at the end.
Ace, you want to go first?
Not really, but I will. I would say hockey, because at a certain point, if you're still tied, it goes to the penalty shootout, which I love. It's the most random of all of them. Although the most fair is probably the basketball.
That's your favorite. I would say fair. What's your favorite? Hockey?
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey. All right.
Yeah. And
I'm still sticking with football. Basketball will be second.
hockey and soccer are exactly the same. They're literally exactly the same. So, I actually really do like. I kind of do like the baseball
Ugh.
one. The way the baseball one is now.
When they put him at
Because-
second base?
Because, dude, I mean, have you like? Okay, are you? We're both baseball fans.
Yeah.
I've watched 18, 19 inning baseball games that just never freaking end. I've watched those and been completely like it adds an element of juice to the game. I can't say it's my favorite because I'm still getting accustomed to it. I probably would say basketball. Just put 5
Wait,
minutes on the clock.
so
and
you
let
saw
it
a
play
game
it
that
out.
was an afternoon game that became a night game?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I went to a game that went 17 innings before.
Ooh.
And I
At Yankee
stayed
Stadium?
for all at Yankee Stadium. No, I know it wasn't Yankee Stadium. It was in Atlanta.
Got your money's worth. And
It
then
was in
some.
Atlanta.
Well, I don't want
I
this
went to a game
run
that went
long.
17 innings before.
I don't want this
and
to
it-
run too long, but I guess out of all of us, I'm the oldest of the old school. But I agree with Ace. I hate the new baseball rule. I hate to putting somebody at second base. I can't believe Malik likes that, but so be it. But hockey is by far, especially playoff hockey, where next goal wins the game. You can't beat that kind of excitement in sports. Even in football, where if one team gets the ball, I mean, you just can't beat that kind of excitement. When it's that whole, no matter what, we get a chance, it softens it to me, man. It just softens it to me. Everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a chance no matter what. Play some defense. What did the Giants do in Green Bay? We didn't get the ball first, but we made a play. Picked the ball off. Then we got the ball back, kicked the field goal, won the game. That's juice to me. Go 18 innings, war of attrition. Who's going to score first? And then even if the road team scores, the home team gets it because they're at home. And you got to pitch. You got to play defense. But the football one, I just think it's just football is leaning more and more away from, I guess, what I grew up with. And I agree with Ace, hockey, playoff hockey especially. Forget the shootout part, but just
Playoff hockey is they play till you drop, like that 5
play till
overtime
you
game a
drop,
couple years
next
ago.
goal wins.
Like that
Play till you
UConn
drop,
Syracuse game that went
next
6
goal wins.
overtimes in the Big East tournament, which wasn't even the championship game.
I think I don't mind. Like I do like the hockey one. And I have to correct myself because soccer they actually play a timed overtime, so it's not like next goal wins. They play a timed overtime, and then if the overtime ends,
they
and
call
it's
it
still a tie,
something
then
else.
they go to PKs.
They call it
PKs. So
I can't remember what they call it. Go ahead.
Extra time.
Yeah. Well, no, extra time isn't overtime. Extra time is just time added onto the respective half of the game. So, but they play a timed overtime. So, I guess with hockey, the one thing I said, goals are so difficult to come by in hockey that yes, next goal winning makes perfect sense because it's not going to be easy to get that one goal. Because of the way that the NBA, both the NBA and the NFL have trended all the way towards offensive play, you know, if you can, as I'm saying, like you can score relatively easy in a lot of these games. So like if you went next score wins, it really I think
not
Ace,
in the NBA, no.
Ace, right, and Ace, I think with what we were talking about this being a betting show, the fact that like you can flip a bet on an overtime so easily, like that's the thing that really catches
a lot of prop
people.
bets will get hit if somebody just happens to catch a 80-yard pass. You had the over on that man's yards.
So I can completely understand how that works out. Like, you know, if you bet Dallas last week, you won no matter what because they were 7-point dogs going into the game. But if they were, you know, if you bet a team that was a 2.5-point dog, and you know,
that's tough.
A field goal loses it for you or wins it for you for that matter. Yeah. That's tough.
That's why the hook is so important. That's why a number like 3.5 or 4.5 is like, you know, that block kick that the Bears got just to win by 1 is bananas. Like they were 1.5-point dogs. So it's like, so the other team just needed to kick that field goal and they would have covered, but the block kick, they don't cover.
Exactly.
What about if it was like this for? What about if it was like this for football? After the tie, whatever, then they'll have like you have to do 2-point conversions, whatever.
Instead, like in college,
force a 2-point conversion. Yeah, like in college.
Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't feel very professional, but I would like it. I would enjoy it. Play some goal line defense. That'd be interesting.
I mean, it's another thing that they would flip the scoring, right?
Because anything just basically just to stop the tie thing. Because a tie, like I said in our private chats before, a tie thing is just basically, both teams lose.
It counts as a half a loss, which is weird in the standings. So now Green Bay is a half game up on us, but this likely means that they won't win the division. So I'm a fan of that. Shout out to you, Kev, in Switzerland.
A tie just feels like empty calories. I went to bed that night just feeling like I watched nothing.
Yeah, that's what it basically was.
I watched the fourth quarter and I was like,
of time.
What can I stand for this for? I could be asleep right now. I'm exhausted. I gotta go to work on Monday. And then the doubleheader on Monday was like,
well, at least what the NFL does is they kind of blend it in. Like before the first game is over, the second game's already started. You just got to go back and forth between channels.
You like doubleheaders on Monday night?
No, but they always do it in the beginning of the year. And for some strange reason, most of the time they put the horrible teams in like that.
Doubleheaders on Monday night or against?
Oh, I'm for it. The games overlapped, so it wasn't like one came on right after the other. Switch back and forth. Checking one game's at halftime. Don't want to hear those people talk. You go watch some action or another game, which is what I did.
Fair enough.
They just need to be good games.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
What was that we could do about that? Okay. How much do we believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the AFC North?
I mean, put a percentage on it.
Yeah, they're in the lead
I
now by 2 games on
yeah.
everybody.
Ain't nobody
I'd say if
stopping
you
them.
put a percentage on it,
There's
I'd
15 games
probably
to
say
go, so I'm just saying.
I'd
Or
probably
13.
say 65-35, honestly.
Really?
I mean,
We'd have to see the games they got left.
Lamar's hurt. He might miss 4 games.
Is he out officially?
He's doubtful for this week, but they said
They
he would
expect
miss.
him to miss at least this week. It's possible he can come back next week,
Yeah.
but he's expected to miss at least. He could miss 2 to 4 weeks.
Ravens have to play Pittsburgh still twice, right?
Correct.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Lamar
You okay,
being out
Lamar?
and all the
I'm
injuries.
sorry, but that's some Derek Jeter for you right there. So
Yeah, I didn't say anything, Levon. I wanted you to see if he's up.
Mute your mic, your dog's bark.
I saw that. I was like, that's worth a let's go. So excuse me, I should have muted myself, but it was very abrupt. Malik, I can't believe he contained himself on that. Boy, top play.
That's what, man, we traded for him because of his glove.
Into the visitors' dugout. Nice. That's what you need right there. They didn't try to catch him until the very end. Bastards.
Still going to answer the question?
Oh,
He went
I
off
thought
topic.
you said my name because I shouted. What you asked? What you asked me?
How much do you believe in the
Steelers
winning that division?
I started.
Forgot all about it.
To answer. So,
do you see me? Do you hear me?
So
wait
Pittsburgh
to baseball.
is off to a good start,
Yeah.
but it's still very, very early. We're not anywhere near the halfway point. We have only done a quarter of the year, and we still don't know what every team is when you get through 4 games. I think you need to get to about game 6 or 7 before you really start to know. That's an older team, and their defense probably played the best it ever did in that last game Sunday morning. I think the Ravens are still the best team in that division. Right now, they're injured.
Okay.
Right now, they're injured, but they need to stay within striking distance. That's why I said that they still have 2 more games against Pittsburgh, which they do. If they can stay within those 2 games, get healthy, they're still a better team, and I think they can catch and beat Pittsburgh. So I would give it, at this point, I would do 40-60.
40 yes, 60 no. I got you.
I'd do 40 yes. They close at 60 no. I think they're the second best team in the division. But I still think Baltimore, after just 4 games, even if 1 and 3, are still the best team, and there's plenty of time to make up 2 games.
Fair. Can't.
Well, right now, you know that the Bengals, they're basically out of it. They don't have Joe Burrow, so they're done. Then after that, you got the Browns. They have this quarterback situation. They're supposed to be starting Dylan Gabriel this week. I don't know how that's going to happen. And also, the Browns have the horrible receiving core. They're almost on the bottom tier of that. So those 2 are eliminated right there. The only reason everybody's being wishy-washy about it because they're thinking about the Ravens. This is not the Ravens from last year in the playoffs. They was even playing bad before these injuries or whatever. So I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna say like 80 to 90% chance that Pittsburgh's gonna win the whole division. I see the Ravens coming in maybe as a wild card team and getting themselves together at the end, and maybe making it through on that part.
I hear you, and I hear what you're saying. You just think everybody's too banged up to try to chase them down because there's so many division games left, and the Ravens still have Derrick Henry, and they can turn it into the Derrick Henry show until Lamar gets back. It's possible the offense could just go out and win games. The fact that the 2 starting corners are hurt, their starting defensive tackle is out for the year, who's a Pro Bowler, was All-Pro last year, second team, and they do not have a replacement for him. They're thin on the D-line. Kyle Van Noy, their best outside linebacker, is hurt in pass rusher. It does not look great for that defense to improve. But as they get healthier, they will get better. And if they can hold it together and win a couple games while Lamar's out, it's possible. But I actually think if Dylan Gabriel can just be more mobile and avoid the rush, I think Cleveland can win a lot of games, like 14-10, because that defense would play like that.
I mean,
So,
Dylan
as
Gabriel just
crazy
got to
as-
rush one more yard
if he
than
can
what
just
Joe
not
Flacco did last week.
yes, if he can just throw, not throw 2-3 interceptions a game like Flacco, they can maybe grind out some of these wins and just keep getting into field goal range and just make a couple of passes. Cedric Tillman isn't terrible. Jerry Jeudy has not lived up to his first round draft type, so I hear you. As a Ravens fan since 1996, I'm a bit disappointed in my.
Oh no! Oh, here we go.
It is
Here
what it
we
is.
go. Now also
But,
you're a Ravens fan again.
I tend to lean towards Levon, but it's like it feels very 50-50. It feels like a coin flip. Because their defense is so old and TJ Watt stays getting hurt on wild plays, like it feels like a coin flip. And Cam Hayward. Yeah, Cam Hayward. He feels like he's looking old. He's looking old. He's 36. He's not looking great. So I don't know, but I put it at 50-50. Any of those teams could chase him down. And also, their quarterback didn't even participate in a tush push last week. Chan showed that play. That is some straight BS right there.
The Aaron Rodgers tush push?
Yeah, he just got back and was like, "Good, guys."
No, he put his hands on his shoulders, standing like a superhero.
So
yeah, like he did something. Yeah,
but here's my thing. We can jump to the next. We can jump to the next division. The next division that you want to talk about. Well, I know I didn't get a chance to finish out because the dog started barking. But two things. One, I feel like this division, based off of what we've seen so far, and what Ant was just talking about with the other two teams, this division is likely going to be won out by a team that's winning 9 or 10 games. Like, that's probably the max out. We're probably not going to see a 13-win team come out of this division, a 12-win team, one of those high-level teams. We also know that Mike Tomlin doesn't win. He won 10 games last year.
He did.
With the carcass of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Like this is if Aaron Rodgers, and they're not playing. The other thing is, like, the Steelers aren't playing great football right now.
Oh, they're not.
You know what I mean?
They
Like, they didn't play their best game against the Jets, and they almost lost that game. The game against the Patriots, they barely scored. And then the game against the Vikings last week, that was their best game, was that game against the Vikings. So if they're trending in the right direction, now they're getting an early bye. The only thing that kind of gives me some pause about the Steelers is the fact that, to Levon's point, I think you said it too, Ace, they're an older team. This is their bye week. So they're going to go straight through from week 6 all the way to the end with no gaps, no breaks in between.
Yeah.
That definitely that's definitely concerning for a team that's older, where literally all their players, every level of their defense and their offensive side, like the youngest guy, is DK Metcalf, and he should be fine by week 13, but the rest of them dudes, they might be gassed.
Yeah.
That's why I said 65, because the Ravens could get hot.
Okay.
Lamar can come back. All
no
those
one
guys,
has any faith in
get
Cleveland
healthy.
whatsoever.
Nah.
No.
But as long as Aaron Rodgers has ayahuasca, what's saying, smelling salts, he'd be all right.
No.
But I want to actually ask this question before you move on, because as you brought it up a little bit with the Aaron Rodgers version of the tush push, how many teams do you think is going to incorporate that version? Because they don't have the quarterback to do the real tush push, but they can have the players to do the Aaron Rodgers version where quarterback just stands around all damn day.
Every team that has a good fullback should do it.
So that's the Lions, that's the Jets, that's the 49ers. Yeah. Basically, those type of teams.
If you got a fullback or a tight end who's like 250, 260, who got some moves to him, yeah. Well, let's roll up and do this. Yeah.
I could also see an expansion in that too. They line up doing that, and then they still flick it back to the quarterback, and the quarterback who's not Aaron Rodgers can run that ball on the other side.
Honestly, I could Patrick Mahomes could probably pull that. I think Caleb Williams. They did try a flea flicker already, but I don't think Ben Johnson's drawing that up. He's just trying to knock down on the mistakes. I could see Liam Cohen trying that in Jacksonville.
Actually, I could see the Giants pulling it off too.
And speaking of that Jacksonville San Francisco game, did you like seeing your old coach threaten another man's life on the field randomly? Talk about
that was awesome. That was awesome.
You want him back as your head coach?
No, but it was still awesome to watch.
All right. We're going to move on and talk about the AFC South with Indianapolis, who feels like they're playing above their heads. Like somehow Daniel Jones this is the best he's ever played in his life. Like he's playing better now than he did that 1 year with the Giants and got him paid. And this feels unsustainable. And I'm just going to start off because I do not see how this continues, but they were very close last week. And this team does seem a bit complete, but they don't seem ready or scared. It's weird. They're playing up to their competition, and I think this is like an 11 or 12 win team. But if do y'all think that they can actually win this division? Being if they're 3-1, the closest team to them is 2-2.
Yeah, that's Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
Jacksonville's 3-1.
Oh, so they're tied. Jacksonville's 3-1.
Both Jacksonville and Indy is 3-1, but I think Indy beat them.
Okay,
already.
Correct.
No, Indy didn't beat Jacksonville. Indy beat. Who they beat first? They didn't play Jacksonville yet.
Mm-mm.
Do you have the schedule in front of you?
They beat the Rams. They beat. Oh man, who they beat? No, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I don't remember them playing the Jags. I don't remember who the Jags lost to.
They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Broncos. Okay, they beat the Dolphins, Broncos, and Titans.
That's there you go. They didn't play Jags yet.
Mm-mm.
Well, everybody beat the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can't remember what our picks were at the beginning of the season, but I know specifically when we talked about the AFC South, I said that I believe that the Colts were a good team that was a quarterback that just needed competent quarterback play to reach their potential as a group. So, and they weren't getting it from Anthony Richardson because either he was hurt or he just couldn't throw the ball, accurately. And so Daniel Jones has come in there and he stabilized things. And Steichen has proven that he's a good offensive coach that can scheme up offenses pretty well. And Jonathan Taylor is playing, high level running. He's running the ball at extremely high level. So, all of those things considered, I don't, obviously Houston is, expected was expected to kind of, they've been the kings of this division for a long time. But their offensive struggles have been, this is not a one season thing. This has been going on since last year. So, I think that's the only team that I would believe gives them, any real pause. And the Jags are good. I would say I probably lean a little bit towards 50-50 on there because the Jags are a really good team. And I think I expected the Jags to be where they are. So I think that they'll be battling it out all the way through. And with Houston potentially playing spoiler on a couple of these things later in the season.
Vaughn, what do you got to say?
I think the Colts benefited from not a soft schedule, but kind of soft. Denver hasn't lived up to expectation, or maybe they just shocked a lot of people last year. The Titans are cheeks, according to their own quarterback. And they had a chance. They had a chance to prove that they belonged, and they didn't do it. They had to beat the Rams, and they didn't. And it was self-inflicted, but they still didn't do it. And Daniel Jones had a Daniel Jones-type game where he threw for a lot of yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. And they lost. This week, who are they playing this week? Shoot.
Don't know.
We'll get into that. But I would say, I can't remember. I think I picked Jacksonville, and I'm going to stick with it, to win that division. I think that they're the more talented team from top to bottom. And I just think the Colts they'll fall back to the pack. They'll probably come in second. But I think I picked the Texans to take second, and I still believe they'll do that because I think the Texans are more talented than the Colts are too. They're just dysfunctional for some reason at this point. But both teams have pivotal games this week that'll say a lot for what they plan to do. But I would give it that the Colts win the division. I give that 30-70. I really do. I just think that Daniel Jones is just too unproven.
Jones is going to Jones.
I think he is, and I like Daniel, and I'm buying the whole Indiana Jones thing, and I want to see him do well. But
No, you
last
don't.
week,
As a
no, I
Giants
do.
fan, you're hating.
No, I want to see him do well. But last week, I kind of wanted to see them beat LA, but they didn't do it. And I mean, that just shows me that Daniel hasn't really won a big game since he's been in the league, and he has yet to do it. So. I don't believe in them. I say 30-70. I think they still come in third. I think they fall down. They're one of the teams that rise early but fall late.
All right. One last dumb question. Who's going to win the game first? The Saints or the Titans?
Hey, I just want to answer one. I just want to answer that part. I have 50% chance of Indianapolis actually winning that division. I think it's going to be a toss-up between them, like Levon and Malik was saying, a toss-up between them and the Jaguars. I don't really believe in the Texans right now. Yeah, they had the talent or whatever, but you need more than talent. You need the teamwork type of thing. Talent, teams can still lose with a lot of talent on them, and they can still end up in the top 10 as far as the drafting is concerned. So I'm going to go with. I want to believe in Daniel Jones because the thing is that I believe more in the coaches because they got Daniel Jones to do what they want him to do. He's actually fitting their system. Unlike, fortunately, when he was with the Giants, he didn't fit their system. I think that's the reason why he was performing well. That's usually what comes down at the end. No, not really. It's just that Daboll has a system that works with certain quarterbacks, and you can see it might actually turn out really good for Jackson Dart because they're basically comparing him to what's the name, Josh Allen. He might be,
God.
He might not be Josh Allen, but he got certain qualities that's helping him out. I'm just talking about for scheme fit. I'm not talking about he's going. I'm not talking about he's going to turn into MVP and stuff like that. He's not putting on the Superman cape and going off.
Don't put that pressure on the kid.
It reminds me of back in the day when everybody compared any good quarterback coming in. Who's the next John Elway? No, the fuck he ain't. Sorry for cursing. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
The only reason I put him in the same sentence is because they both was in the same system, and they work well in the system. I'm not talking about how. I'm not saying he's going to be MVP. I'm not saying he's going to be throwing the gold jacket on him right now type of thing. Pause on that. It's just one game. But I'm just saying that he fits their system. That's the thing that I don't think that Daniel Jones did. He didn't really fit their system compared to how he is doing now with the Colts. That's what it comes down to at the end when it comes to any player, basically, if they fit the system. If they don't, they're basically go back to what Levon said earlier with Cam Wood, the Cam Wood quote. Yeah, that's what basically they no matter who they are, if you put them in a horrible system, they're gonna falter. But that's what it comes down to at the end.
And in Daniel Jones's first start, he won the game. He had 4 total touchdowns and over 300 yards.
Yeah, of course he can have that because nobody knows. Nobody has tape on him in that system.
Yeah. So we gotta. I mean, I get what you're saying, but we gotta wait and see. And that question that you were about to pose, Ace, I refrain from answering because I don't want to spoil my picks coming up.
Oh, okay.
But Ace, ask that question again since I kind of interrupted it.
Who's going to win a game first, the Titans or the Saints?
You could put the Jets in here.
I mean, that's true. The Titans, the Saints, and the Jets.
But as far as your actual question, I'm going to go with the Titans on that one. I'm just tossing the coin up in the air. It could be either one.
I feel pretty confident that the Jets are going to win a game, but if Aaron Glenn loses another game, he's going to be the first Jets head coach to start 0-5 at him, which is crazy to me because I would have thought that was Rich Kotite for sure.
No, Rich Kotite, went 0-4, and not Rich Kotite. Is it Gase? Anyway, whatever. I'm not going to get into that.
Or Ray Rhodes or one of them dudes back in the day. All right, Malik. Let's start with the games.
All right. And I say the Saints. The Saints. They played well.
Of course you say the Saints.
Well, no, they played well against Buffalo.
Yeah. Same for me.
They gave Buffalo a tough time, and they might win this week. You never know. All right.
Actually, I do hope the Saints.
Starting with, we're gonna start. So before we kick off week 5, I will give our week 4 statistics. Week 4, Ace finished. We did 15 games, not including the Thursday night game. Ace finished 6-9. Ant finished 9-6.
Oh yeah!
And Levon and I both finished 8-7. On our locks, Ace finished 2-3 on the locks. Ant also finished 2-3. I finished 2-3, and Levon finished 1-4.
Wow.
Our season stats for the year so far. Ace is 28-32, 46%. Ant is 35-25, coming in at 57%.
Woo!
I am at 28-32, along with Ace at 46%. Levon is at 32-28, just over 52%. Locks, Ace is 11-9, 55% on his locks. Ant is also 11-9. I'm 9-11, and Levon is 8-12. So far, if you're listening to Ant, you're off to a good start. Even though Ant has admitted that he picks a lot of this shit by the skin of his teeth. So we'll see what happens this week.
Yeah, I got that magic 8-ball is sitting in the background somewhere.
That's bad.
All right, let's roll into week 5. So we've got London game. First game of the slate is the London game. The Minnesota Vikings taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Vikings are the road team. They were the home team last week in Ireland when they were playing against the Steelers.
What country are they playing?
Now they're playing in London. They're playing in London, and now they are the road team taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Vikings lost last week against the Steelers in Ireland, and the Browns lost in Detroit last week, and have since now moved over from at the quarterback position from Joe Flacco to the rookie Dylan Gabriel. The Vikings are favored in this game by 3.5 points. The over-under is a paltry 35.5. I'm sorry to the people of London who have to watch this game, because it is everybody's expecting this to be the lowest scoring game probably of the season, not just of the week. Ace, I'm going to start this with you. Vikings at the Browns. Who you got?
12-9 Browns. That is my prediction. 21 total.
Lock it in.
A bunch of field goals. And then when British people ask us why is it called football, we'll say, well, did you see that game? All they did was kick the ball through the uprights. All kicks.
Ant, what about you?
I'm just gonna stick with the normal thing there and just go with the Vikings and the under. I'm not giving no scores.
All right, Levon.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Browns. I'm going with the Browns in this game, and I picked the over.
Whoa, he thinks the Browns gonna go off.
I think it's going to be some points in that game. I don't think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think that the kid will give them some juice. Being in London will give them some juice. It's an early game, and the Browns play good defense. So I think the Cleveland's probably going to run in that game. I just got a funny feeling they're going to run Minnesota.
The Browns have a good defense. The Browns have a good defense. I think the Vikings defense is also pretty good, and they will try to obviously create a lot of pressure to get at Dylan Gabriel and make him a little skittish back there. If he can make some throws and evade pressure, I think they should be okay. I expect a big game or at least a big outing from Quinshon Judkins, because that's probably going to be the best way to keep for them to run the football, keep the score low, and to Ace's point, kick field goals. Try to score touchdowns, but kick field goals if nothing else. Carson Wentz will probably throw him a couple. So it's going to really depend on whose defensive front is able to make the plays up front and keep the other team off balance. I'll pick the Vikings here. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about giving 3.5 points, but I'll take them here, and I'll take the under.
I mean, come on. If you think about it, Malik. I was just going to say one thing. If you think about it, one team has Justin Jefferson, the other team has crappy receivers.
Carson,
that's true too.
Wentz.
That's true too.
Yeah, did you see Wentz last week?
This might be the one matchup where Dylan Gabriel is actually the better quarterback, though. We haven't seen him throw a
Yeah.
pass yet. Well, he threw one. He threw one against Detroit, and it didn't. He didn't complete it, but whatever. All right, Texans at the Ravens. The Texans going to Baltimore to play against the Ravens. The Ravens are home dogs here. 1.5 point home underdogs. The Texans come in off of a 26-0 victory against the Tennessee Titans at home, while the Ravens limp in battered and bruised after losing 2 straight, and most recently in Kansas City in dominant fashion. Ravens are likely going to be without quarterback Lamar Jackson and a slew of other players on both sides of the football who have been banged up or injured over the course of the weeks. Texans are, again, 1.5 point favorites. Over-under is 40.5. Ace, come back to you because this is your adopted team since 1996.
Whatever.
So I'm coming back to you. Texans at Ravens, who you got?
The Ravens are getting what, 3 points?
They're getting 1.5 right now. That's the number on FanDuel Sportsbook.
I'm gonna take the Ravens. DeAndre Hopkins revenge game. He hates the Texans. Forced a way to get traded out of there. He is going to somehow score 2 to 3 touchdowns this game and burn them again. Also, they don't seem to know how to block, so I don't think it really matters who's playing defense for the Ravens. Whoever it is will be able to rush the passer because the Texans tend to block just one person at a time as a group, as we saw from some of those clips. So they should be able to put some pressure on CJ Stroud. So yeah, I'm not too concerned. Houston's defense is really good, but the Ravens are at home, so I'm gonna give them a chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ant.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens on this one as well. I mean, what's the name? The quarterback. What's that dude's name again?
Cooper Rush.
Yeah, Cooper Rush. Yeah, I'm a move from Dallas.
Former Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, he was okay for subbing in and stuff like that. So I think he can actually do his job. Ravens still a better more experienced coach team, I should say. But and what I was saying earlier about the Texans, whatever, they have all that talent, but it seems like they can't put it together. So I'm going to go with the Ravens on this one. What's the over and under?
40.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under. No, I'm going to take the over in this one.
Okay. Levon.
Yeah, I agree with what Ant said. The Ravens are missing half of their starting secondary. Hamilton and Humphreys are not playing in this game. And if Jackson doesn't play, forget about Jackson. And defensive tackle, I don't know if he's all pro, but their Pro Bowl DT is out for the season. So they are really hurting. But the Texans might be really bad. But this is the game. It's one of those games where I said it was hard to call. Because either the Texans are really bad and they'll lose, or the Texans aren't really bad and this is a game where they kind of save their season and get back in the mix. But that means the Ravens are dead. So one of these two teams is officially, their season is over after this game ends. And I'm more inclined to believe that it's going to be the road team, so I'm taking the Ravens. And the over.
All right, so you're all taking the Ravens. I'm going to lone wolf the Texans here. I don't believe that they righted the ship with that victory over Tennessee last week. It was if you watched that, I actually did watch a little bit of a replay of that game, and it was actually 6-0. Even though they scored 26 points, they actually scored the last 20 points in the last quarter and a half. So
correct.
It was 6-0 with 8 minutes left. Well, 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
It was like watching a fourth grader beat up the first grader.
It was eventually the Titans just became the Titans. But I do think that the Texans, at the very least, by virtue of just being the healthier team in this situation, are more prepared to, should be prepared to walk into Baltimore and get a win. The Ravens defense just looks really, really bad. And now they're really, really hurt on top of that. So if CJ Stroud can get right, was able to get right a little bit against Tennessee, he should be able to do the same thing against the Baltimore's defense that's just not really stopping anybody right now. So 1.5 points doesn't feel like a lot. I'll lay that and I'll take the over, but no lock. All right. Dolphins at the Panthers. The Dolphins are the road favorite here. Again, laying 1.5. The over-under here is 44.5. The Panthers got their asses beat and destroyed my parlay last week in New England by losing 42-13.
Smackdown.
Meanwhile, the Dolphins were able to get a victory over the Jets on Monday Night Football, and a very hard-fought victory that wound up, unfortunately, losing them Tyreek Hill for the remainder of the season. The Dolphins come in, as I mentioned, they're 1.5-point favorites here, with the over-under being 44.5. And I'm going to start with you here. Dolphins and Panthers, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this one. The reason why it's no hate or whatever is just because the Dolphins is going to be without Tyreek Hill, maybe for obviously for the rest of the season, maybe for the rest of his Dolphin career. But also, if you look at that, if y'all guys actually went through that game, watched that game, I'm not pressuring y'all to watch that game because I was a Jet fan. Of course, I'm gonna watch that game. Everybody else can fall asleep. But the Dolphins basically had Tyreek Hill doing those crosses all day and going day, and the Jets was more worried about that. Also, the Jets basically shot themselves in the foot by letting the Dolphins win that game. So I'm going to go with the Panthers, even though they might be the same exact thing. But at least they actually have their whole team together as far as, their game plan is concerned. I don't trust, Mike McDaniels and his offense. I think it's mostly built around two players. One of them are down, and they're just going to be a Waddle all day. If the Panthers actually play real good defense, I think they can lock in Waddle and actually win that game. So I'm going to go with the Panthers, and I'm going to go with the under in this one. Actually, what's the over and under in this one?
44.5.
Yeah, I'm going to still take the under in this one. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think the Dolphins basically going to be back on the hot seat again. It was just a week off because they faced the Jets. And the Jets always jet, like a Jet 2 holiday. Anyway,
you said something that was very interesting. You said something that was very interesting, Ed. You said something very interesting. You said, if the Panthers play good defense. I actually don't think that that's a possible sentence. I actually don't think that sentence is humanly possible.
Both of these teams are basically going to be fighting for top 5 in the draft.
That very well may be the case, but I'm going to look. I was burned by the Panthers. I'm not picking the Panthers this week. There's no way.
You got the same feeling I had with Atlanta last year.
I'm laying the points. I'm picking the Dolphins. I'm laying the points here. There's no good reason to pick the Panthers in any game.
Is the Panthers at home though?
Unless they're playing Atlanta. That's about the only thing I can say.
Panthers at home. I don't know that juice.
Otherwise, the Panthers, Bryce Young, that team. They lack talent. They just lack talent in so many areas on that team. They're just not. I don't think they're ready for even to play against a team that's not great even great as well in the Dolphins. So I'll pick the Dolphins. I'll lay the points. I'll go with the under. The Dolphins. I think even without Tyreek Hill, I think the Dolphins' team speed is still. It's still enough to win this game outright. So I'll take the Dolphins on the under, no lock. Ace.
I'm locking in the Dolphins. Darren Waller, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane. It appears that Chuba Hubbard is hurt. Rico Dowdell is looking to get the start for the Panthers. And the Panthers also lost 2 of their starting offensive line. And their offensive line was already not great. So, Brandon Phillips is healthy. Steeler is healthy, as is Brandon Chubbs. So I think the Dolphins have more talent on the offensive and defensive line. Therefore, they're going to win. Therefore, I'm locking them in.
The great Darren Waller.
If they win, they're going to put up a bunch of points. Honestly, if Jonnu Smith can look like a Pro Bowler last year, then Darren Waller can come back and have 100 catches because Tyreek can. So somebody's going to have to catch the ball. And Waddle gets hurt every other play. So that's what I'm betting on.
Before LeVon goes, I did speak incorrectly. I did lock in the Dolphins as well. So that is my first lock of the week. LeVon, over to you.
This is another tough one to call. The Dolphins are dysfunctional. The only thing that changed was the Jets fumbled between the 5 and the goal line, and it swung that game in the other direction. And the Jets themselves are dysfunctional, and they were playing at home. I think the Panthers are a better coach team at this point. The fact that they're at home and the fact that Tyreek Hill, their most reliable weapon, is gone. And Darren Waller off the street had a decent game, but he's got a hip right now. And I just don't think that the Dolphins fixed everything. And I think the Panthers, coming off of that spanking, are going to bounce back. And I got the Panthers and the under.
Team Panthers.
All right. Raiders at the Colts.
Sorry, Malik. I'm going to lock it in. Sorry about that. I was thinking about it for a minute.
You're locking in the Panthers? Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, Raiders at the Colts. The Colts return home after losing in L.A. last week in embarrassing fashion. They should have won that game. Adonai Mitchell, what are you doing? Don't stop that, please. I mean, they really just need, all the coaches just need to just tell these players, like, just keep the damn ball. Like, this should not happen every season. This seems to happen once every damn year. And I saw a tape. I saw a stat. It's happened twice to the Colts. It happened once last year. Apparently, Jonathan Taylor did it last year, and now Mitchell did it this year. So it's happened twice to the Colts. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Colts lost last week against the Rams, and now they return back home. The Raiders also lost, but at home, against the Chicago Bears. And Geno Smith looked really bad in that game. But the Colts are coming home, and they're 6.5-point favorites hosting the Raiders. The over-under in this is 47.5. Levon, I'm going to start it with you.
Yeah, the Raiders are bad. They're not good. How they lost that game against Chicago, I don't know. I thought that was a sure thing, but the Bears pulled it out. The Colts are embarrassed, and I think they're better than the Raiders. So I think they come out and they win this game. I got the Colts and the over, and I'm locking that in.
All right. I have the Colts as well and the over, and I am also locking this one in. 6.5 points is not a lot to lay. I think that they should be able to win this game by 10. I will say though, Ashton Jeanty did look great last week in that game against Chicago. He had a lot of yards, was able to score some touchdowns. He looked like he was back to his college version of himself. If he can do that, then they'll keep this game close. Otherwise, I think the Colts have more than enough firepower on offense to take over the game and neutralize Max Crosby, who's the only person that on the Raiders side of the ball that you're really going to be worried about. So I'm taking the Colts and the over, and I will too lock this in. Ace, over to you.
I'm going to take the Raiders and the over. This game is going to be a shootout. Jonathan Taylor is going to carry his team, and Ashton Jeanty is going to carry his team. Daniel Jones is going to turn over the ball, and that's what's going to be the difference in them covering him. And I think the Raiders are going to take advantage of that. They might possibly win, but I'm taking them to cover. So give me the Raiders. I'm not locking it in, but I'm taking the Raiders to cover. I think the 6.5 is too much.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts and the under this one. There's too many injuries here on the Raiders side, especially with the top two tight ends. Gentry, the rookie, whatever, running back for the Raiders is finally kicking in gear. Good for my fantasy, but I still think that the Colts is going to win. They're the home team. They're going to be in the dome, of course. Raiders is coming in. Like I said, they got injuries and stuff like that. I think the Colts is a better team. I'm not going to lock it in, but I'm definitely going to take the Colts on this one.
All right. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints hosting Levon's New York Giants. The Saints are 1.5-point favorites in this game, despite the fact that they haven't won a game yet this season. They are favorites to cover the spread and win this game against the Giants, who actually do have a victory. The Giants won last week against a very good, everybody said very good Chargers team. who walked into the Meadowlands and got beat by Jackson Dart and the squad over there in New York. So now New York goes on the road in New Orleans to face the Saints in the Superdome. Difficult place to play, but the Saints are still the Saints and have not looked great for an entire full game yet this season. Saints are 1.5-point favorites. The over/under is 41.5. Levon, I'm coming back to you as a Giants fan in the room. What are you thinking?
Well, the story last week was the rookie quarterback for the Giants. I am cautious to get ahead of myself and get too excited. Daniel Jones in his first start, as I told Anthony earlier, 4 touchdowns and won the game, over 300 passing yards. We're watching a quarterback on San Francisco, Mac Jones, who actually made the Pro Bowl, I think his rookie season for New England. So beware of early success. About the game in general, Malik Neighbors not being there hurts. That's why we're not favored in this game. His injury is a severe blow to this team's chances. The Saints did play Buffalo, unfortunately, because Buffalo overlooked them. Probably was already planning for this week's game the way they played at home against the Saints in that game. But they played them tight up until the very end where Buffalo pulled away. Kellen Moore has faced the Giants many times over the past couple of years as the offensive coordinator for both the Cowboys and the Eagles, so he knows the Giants pretty well and what he wants to do against them. But this is not the same Giant defense. And that pass rush had a combined 20 pressures against Justin Herbert. Even though the offensive line was banged up, Herbert is known for getting rid of the ball quick. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And we still got 20 pressures on him and sacked him twice. And the Saints' offensive line is nowhere near as good and just as banged up. And Rattler is not Justin Herbert. So I'm saying all that because I don't want this to seem like a homer pick. But I am picking the Giants to win the game outright. And I am locking that in.
Homer pick. Homer Simpson. Homeward bound.
Ant, over to you.
Yeah, last week we saw, unfortunately, for Malik Neighbors, he's one of the people that got taken alive once again by the evil stadium called MetLife. Court strikes again. So I think that takes away most of the dynamics that the Giants had, as far as for their passing game is concerned. There's definitely going to a new quarterback right now, but I really believe in Jackson Dart. But I believe that the Saints, there's a reason why the Saints is showing, as far as for Vegas, is to be actually a little bit more in the favorite. I'm going to take the Saints because they're at home, and I think that the Giants is still recovering from that part. Now teams can put more game plan for everybody else because I don't think they're afraid. This is just me. I just think that the Saints is not going to be afraid of anybody on offense. Was on the Giants. They know that Jackson Dart can scramble, so they're just going to put a spy on him and handle that. As far as for the Giants concerned, on the Giants end, I can see what Levon was talking about. Their defense, they got the best, in my opinion, they got the best defensive line with that pass rush, and they can definitely get it through. But I think the Saints can actually push past that and get it, and actually pull their first win of the season. So I'm going to go with the Saints on this one. I'm going to take the under this one. I'm not going to lock it in because it can go, in my opinion, it can go either way. But I think the Saints need a win here, so they're going to be the more desperate team.
Yeah, I'll roll with you. Sorry, Ant. I'll roll with you here. I'll take the Saints as well. I'll take the under. Not locking this in either. The Giants do have a very good pass rush and can get after the quarterback, and that's why I don't think the Saints are going to pass the ball very much. I think they're going to run the ball a lot, and I think the Giants are going to run the ball a lot. My magic number here is 50. 50 combined rushes between the two teams, between Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo and Spencer Rattler and Alvin Kamara, and I can't remember the other running back's name in New Orleans.
Kendre Miller.
Yeah, Kendre Miller. That's right. But I think they're all I think this is going to be a heavy running game. That's why I think the best bet or the lock on this for me is the under. I don't think either one of these teams want this game to get to 41.5 points, let alone we'll try to get it over that number. I think this game ends somewhere around the 17-13 area. And so I'll take the Saints because they're the home team. And this will be Jackson's first road game, first road NFL game. So, played really well at home, did some good things, also, did some questionable things there. And on the road in a hostile environment, the crowd will be getting after them. And so I think the Saints will be able to pull out a very, very close victory. So I'll go ahead and take the Saints to under, but no lock. Ace.
I'm taking the Saints in the over. I think they have an advantage of the running back, and I think they have an advantage on their defense. The Giants' defensive line is very good, but Spencer Rattler just went up against the Bills, and Greg Rousseau is a pretty good pass rusher, as is Joey Bosa. And he was healthy. So if they can stop them, they should be able to stop the Giants' pass rush. Abdul Carter is a different beast, and he is very good, but he is also a rookie. I expect Dart to just make more mistakes and not be able to win a game in the state of Louisiana as he has never done so, whether it be in college and now this being the pros. That streak will continue. Give me the Saints, and I will take the over.
All right, next up we got the Cowboys at Ants, New York Jets. The Cowboys are 2.5-point favorites coming into this game after their aforementioned tie at home against the Green Bay Packers last weekend. Or was it? Yeah, last Sunday night. The Jets, on the other hand, are still looking for their first victory of the season and come back home after a loss to the Dolphins in Miami. The Cowboys are 2.5-point favorites going into this game, and the over-under on this game is 47.5. And I'm going to start with you. These are your boys. This is your squad. Cowboys at the Jets. What are you thinking?
There was a reason why this week on the press conference that Aaron Glenn brought up Tony Dungy and his first years with Tampa Bay going 0-5 or whatever like that before they kicked everything through. I think he's just giving a little hint of a preview, basically, getting everybody prepared of what's going to happen, because I just don't see the Jets scoring 40 points. Cowboys kind of did it last week. There's unless the Jets actually figure a way to actually get somebody else to score besides Garrett Wilson, as far as in the passing game is concerned, then maybe they might get Mason Taylor to do it. Don't know, but if they change up the whole thing, we just got to see down the road. But as far as for now, from looking at what happened last week, once you lock up Garrett Wilson, basically the whole offense falls through. So on all that long ass speech, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Unfortunately for me, I'm going to go with the Cowboys, and I'm going to take the under in this one. And it's going to be my second lock of the week.
And locking in against his team. It's the first in a while. Ace.
Yep, I'm here. The spread on this is what again?
2.5. Cowboys. Ooh. Cowboys minus 2.5.
Because they're in MetLife.
In MetLife, yes.
And they're gonna have to go back there again. I'm gonna take the Jets. Cowboys always struggle with mobile quarterbacks. Justin Fields is the mobilest of all the quarterbacks currently. The fastest as well. He broke off a 43-yard run. And the Cowboys defense has been sorry, except when they decide to actually focus and play well, and they didn't want to get embarrassed against Micah because they hate that dude, and they did everything they could to win, and they still tied. They're going to be tired from that game, and they're going to overlook the Jets, and the Jets can't overlook anybody. So they're going to be prepared, and they're going to get the win. So give me the Jets and an upset. And I'm going to take the under.
I hope you're right.
I'm going to take the Jets as well. I mean, the offense, the Cowboys offense is very good. We do know that, but the Cowboys defense
lost
is
to the Bears, I'd like to point out.
The Cowboys defense is absolutely horrible, and we know that as well. So, the Jets, interestingly, the Jets are the only team in the NFL that has not yet created a takeaway. That was a stat that I heard recently that was very interesting. So the Jets are due to at least get themselves one takeaway, especially for a defense that's that's for defensive head coach who's prides himself on playing playing that type of defense, attacking defense and going after the football. So I expect them to do that. I expect them to get at least one turnover in the game and make enough plays to either cover the number or win outright. I won't pick an outright win, but I think they should be able to cover the number 2.5. So I'll take the Jets. I'll take the under. No lock.
Funny you
Levon.
mentioned that, Malik. I was just thinking about this. It's funny you mentioned that. They actually had a chance almost every single game, but they don't do it.
Oh, to get a turnover, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Levon, over to you.
The Cowboys are terrible defensively, but they're one of the best teams in the league on offense. Dak Prescott is the early favorite to win MVP, and that's even with CeeDee Lamb not playing in this football game. Pickens, Tolbert, the other guy's name escapes me. Tight end Ferguson, the offensive line blocks, and just Dak is a smart quarterback, and the Cowboys find a way to score. Now, if this was in Dallas, it would be a no-brainer. I think everybody would probably be taking the Cowboys. But the Jets, I just watched, beat themselves against a bad Miami team. Even though it was in Miami, they absolutely beat themselves in that game. And if one thing I know about the Cowboys, they very rarely beat themselves. Defense is bad, but they very rarely beat themselves, and they usually get help. So I'm taking Dallas, and I am taking the over because I do think the Jets will put up some points because it's the Dallas defense, all that with Justin Fields being a running quarterback. And I don't trust Justin Fields to make any plays outside of using his legs in a game ever. So, yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys in the over. I'm with Ant.
All right. Broncos at the Eagles is one of the big games of the week. The Broncos are heading to Philadelphia, and they are 4.5-point underdogs in Philadelphia against the Eagles. Broncos coming off of, did they win last week? I can't remember if they won last week. I think they won last week. Anyway, the Eagles are coming off of a victory against Tampa Bay
Broncos
Tampa Bay.
played the Bengals and smacked them.
Yes, they beat the brakes off the Bengals. That's right, on Monday Night Football. That's right. That's the game I didn't watch. It was, 38-3, something like that. Something ridiculous. And the Eagles won their game against Tampa Bay in weird fashion. They dominated the first half, didn't score in the second half, and just still won the game, on turnovers. The Eagles are just finding ways to win, and win good, win bad, win ugly, doesn't matter. They're just winning. They're 4-0, and they're home hosting the Broncos again. 4.5-point favorites, over unders 43.5. Ace, I'm gonna start with you here. You might be muted, Ace. I don't hear you. I still can't hear you. While Ace is fixing his audio situation, Levon, let's start with you.
So, the Eagles are 4-0, and they're about to be 5-0. Denver, if they were in Denver, I'd give them a chance, but they're not. Bo Nix hasn't played very well all season. Even in the game they just dominated a bad Bengals team. He didn't play particularly lights out in that game. And their defense is, for a defense that I guess everyone thought would be so locked down and dominant, they just haven't done that outside of the one game that they just dominated against a terrible Bengals team. But yeah, the Eagles at home, I think they win this game. And I think they hold the Broncos, so that's why I picked the under. I'm going with the Eagles in the under.
All right. Ant, over to you.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Eagles in the under right now, as of right now as well. I think the Eagles, as the defending champions, are basically playing with their food right now. They're not going to look past the Broncos, but they're definitely going to beat them down and keep on going. So definitely going to take the Eagles, taking the under in this one. Third lock.
Oh, and you're locking the Eagles. Ace, is your audio working now? We cannot hear you. Nope, still can't hear you.
Can't hear you, but I know you're chewing something.
We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Write it down.
No.
Write it down, your pick, and just show
Nope,
it
can't hear you,
on the
Ace.
screen. Write your pick down and show it on the screen. No, that's a bird.
No Birdman.
Oh, you got the Eagles? Okay. That's what you tried to
the
say.
Eagles. He's
Picking the Eagles.
You know what, Ace? I would be perfectly fine if you hand signal your picks for the rest of this game. You need to hand signal your picks and hand signal the lock, okay?
Is he locking this thing? And he's locking it.
I don't know
I
what
thought he was in LA.
If your lock's going to be like this, yeah.
Yes.
Ace, so are you locking in the Eagles or no? Okay, Ace is locking in the Eagles as well.
Fly, Eagle, fly.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna take the Broncos. I want to see I just want to see the Broncos get a. I want to see the Broncos get a victory here. I actually think the Broncos can keep it close. If they're able to run the football against Philadelphia, because of their corners, they have some really good corners on the outside, and if they're able to prevent Saquon from going off, which he hasn't gone off at all so far this season, and make it into a throwing game for Jalen Hurts, I think they're one of the few teams in the NFL that can match up against those receivers, man up against those receivers on the outside. So I'll take the Broncos to keep it within the number. I think the game plays close, and the Broncos are able to cover. I don't necessarily know that they'll win outright, but I think they should be able to cover the number on this one. So I'll take the Broncos and the over.
They do got good defense.
All right, let's go to the Cardinals and the Titans. The Titans are in Arizona to face the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 8.5-point favorites against the Titans. Not going to spend much time here. Cam Ward says that his team is ass, and they're horrible. They're horrible right now. And the Cardinals lost a football game against Seattle in their own house last Thursday. So both of these teams are struggling somewhat. Both of these teams are looking for a bit of a bounce back. The Titans are looking for their first victory. Cardinals are 8.5-point favorites. Levon, I'm going to start with you here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, you're right.
The over-under is 41.5.
Not worth wasting much time on this. Titans are not very good. And it doesn't help them that their quarterback came out and said it, because it's something we already knew. But with him saying it, lets everybody else know that he knows his team isn't very good. So why would anyone have any confidence in them winning any type of next to challenging game going forward? Cards are at home. Give me the Cardinals and the over.
I think the 8.5 points probably is the only thing that gives people pause, because the Cardinals' offense hasn't been great. But yeah, I agree with you, Levon. I'm taking the Cardinals and the over as well, and I'm actually locking the Cardinals in here. Ace is still dealing with his headset issue. So
Yeah,
Ace,
can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Perfect. I'm taking the Titans. I just don't believe that Arizona can blow anybody out. So that's the reason why I'm picking the Titans. I just expect them to lose by a touchdown. It's not that they're good, it's that they just won't be the worst they have ever been. It's really that simple. And also, Arizona's down to their third string running back, who nobody plans on, so they will not be able to run the ball. So make them pretty one-dimensional, which will make them easier to defend. So give me the Titans to cover. And I'm a lock.
And you're locking it. All right. Ant, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cam Ward. He believes his team is ASS. I believe they're ASS as well. And I'm going to not lock this in, but I'm going to go with Arizona. I'm going to take the under.
All right.
Cam said it, so I'm just going to go with him.
Very quick. Let's see if we keep that momentum going through the rest of these games. Buccaneers at the Seahawks. The Buccaneers are getting 3 points on the road in Seattle. Seattle won last Thursday against the Cardinals in Arizona. And the Buccaneers lost that game, as I mentioned, to the Eagles at home. So the Buccaneers are 3-1. The Seahawks are also 3-1. And they're both looking to continue to finish strong, or continue their strong flow into the season. So the Seahawks are 3-point favorites here. The over-under is 44.5 in this game. I will go ahead and start first. I like the Seahawks to cover this game here. No lock for me, but I do like the Seahawks to cover this number. I think the Seahawks are a really good team. They're a really interesting team so far. Sam Darnold is playing well enough, but their defense is really good. I picked them last week against the Cardinals. I think that defense is one of the better defenses in the NFL and has played like it, especially on the outsides. The secondary is very difficult to throw against, and they get pressure up front without having to blitz. So I like that for them, and I think the Buccaneers. We watched the Buccaneers play really, really close games and win games by the skin of their teeth multiple times over the course of the season so far, and they were unfortunately unable to pull the rabbit out of the hat again with Baker Mayfield in the offense when they needed it most against the Eagles. And I think that the same thing happens in this one, and the Seahawks roll here. So I'm going to take the Seahawks, no lock, but I like the Seahawks to cover the number. Levon, over to you.
Yeah, I echo everything you just said. I think Tampa Bay had their chance to win a big game last week, and they didn't get it done at home. They go into the 12th man against a good Seattle team. And like I said, I echo everything you just said pretty much. It's the battle of the former Carolina Panther quarterbacks and Darnold versus Mayfield. And I think Seattle comes out on top, so I picked them, but I didn't lock it in, and I picked the over.
All right, Ant.
Yeah, it seems like they're best friends to the end. Like LeVon said, they former Carolina quarterbacks, they former first-round picks in the same draft. But I'm going to go with Seattle on this one. Seattle, to me, has a more of a stable team. The Buccaneers are going in and out with their receivers and stuff like that. So as far as this is concerned, Seattle's at home. I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the under in this one.
Yeah, I love the interview that Baker gave where they asked him, do him and Sam Darnold think fondly or speak fondly about their time in Carolina, and he said no, because it was horrible for both of them. Ace,
I'm gonna take the Bucks. I'm not locking it in, but I just have more faith in Baker Mayfield playing well than I do in Sam Darnold at this moment. And the Bucks defense has been playing pretty good, as they showed against Philly.
All right. Next up, my Lions are going to Cincinnati to play against the Bengals. This is the biggest line of the weekend of Week 5. The Lions are favored by 10.5 points on the road. The over-under in this game is 48.5. The Lions are coming off of a 24-point victory at home against the Browns, while the Bengals got boat raced by the Broncos in Denver in Denver last week. I'm going to go first here. I like the Lions to win this game. I don't like the number, so I'm not going to lock it in, but I do like the Lions to win this game pretty handily. Haven't seen anything from Jake Browning or the Bengals offensively to make me believe that they can win a game. But I do think it's very interesting that if Browning has enough time to throw the football and he can get the ball out to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, I do think that they do have an advantage on the outside, as they do in most weeks against Detroit's cover corners. I just don't think he's going to have a lot of time. I think that the Lions are going to be able to bring pressure as they were able to do against Joe Flacco and the Browns last week and against Lamar Jackson the previous week. And they're able to get that pressure to Browning, maybe get a couple of turnovers, and then on the offensive side of the ball, because we know that Cincinnati Bengals aren't a great defensive team, on the offensive side of the ball, Detroit should be able to move the ball up and down the field without much problem. So I'll pick the Lions. I'll pick the over in the number, but I'm not locking it in because I don't like 10.5 point spreads. Levon, over to you.
The Lions covered last week, and it was 9. And that was a way better opponent than what they're getting this week. And the Bengals team that only had 3 points against Denver, which is a lesser opponent than Detroit. And I don't care where they're playing this game. The Lions, the cover, give me an under because I don't think the Bengals will be able to score at all again. And I'm locking this in.
right. Ant.
Well, just to let everybody know out there that as we're recording this, 49ers and the Rams are tied going into overtime. That seems like it's going to be definitely a better game than the Lions versus Bengals because Joe Burrow is not there. So I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm going to take the over in this one. They're going to beat the smack out of them. And I think the Lions themselves can make those points. And I'm going to lock that in. I think that's my fourth lock.
Yes, it is your fourth lock. Ace.
I agree 100% with Ant. I'm locking us in. The Bengals are the worst team. Jake Browning is not the guy, and they need to try to trade for a QB and figure it out. Give me the Lions and lock them in.
This is hilarious. The Lions fan is the one person not locking in the Lions this week. That's hilarious. I love it.
Your boys.
No faith. Zero faith.
I don't like 10.5 point spreads. If you guys have been recording with me for the last couple of years, you guys know I don't like 10-point spreads. I wouldn't lock in a 10-point spread
by 23
ever.
With Bo Nix.
I don't lock in 10-point spreads.
What are you talking about?
I don't lock in 10-point spreads. I don't like it. I wouldn't put my money on a 10-point spread. I don't care, especially on the road.
Alrighty.
Especially on the road. I've been burned too many times by backdoor covers to do that. So it is what it is.
It's pretty messed up. That would have been a good game for you too.
At the Chargers. Was that?
No, I was going to say that would have been a good game for you because I know you're an LSU fan, so you love Joe Burrow and stuff like that. Seeing him going against you.
I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan. Love Joe Burrow, man.
That would have been awesome in the game, but we'll have to wait till a couple of years from now. Yeah.
I think we would have won if Joe Burrow was there. I mean, we wouldn't be 10-point favorites if Joe Burrow was there, but I think we would win. I think we would win no matter what. But I just don't like 10-point spreads. All right, Commanders at the Chargers. The Washington Commanders. It looks like Jaden Daniels might play. He has been practicing this week. He may wind up playing after missing the last two games, specifically the game against the Atlanta Falcons last week where the Commanders lost. They are now 2-2, and they're heading to LA to face the Chargers, who are 3-1 and coming off of their loss against the New York Football Giants. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. The over/under is 48.5 here. Ace, you're already shaking your head about this one, so I'm interested. What are you thinking?
I like the Chargers. Whether or not Jaden Daniels plays, I don't think it's going to make a difference. The Chargers defense let up last week. Maybe it was the east to west thing, or west to east thing, I should say. And that turf also. They're going to be at home. They're going to be playing on turf again, but it's not that same kind of turf that the Giants have. They think they're going to be able to beat the brakes off of them. They got a really good running back.
Not the same turf.
It's not the same.
It doesn't have that bad juju.
People don't know. People's cleats don't get caught in it. It's a different kind of turf where it's like actually separate blades or whatever. So the point is, before I was interrupted, I'm locking in the Chargers. I think they're going to be able to beat the brakes off of this team, and I just think that they're a better team. Joe Alt is hurt, so their left tackle is out, so that is going to be an issue for them. But aside from that, I don't see them having too many issues with the commies.
All right, Ant.
I'm also going to go with the Chargers on this one because with the Commanders, you got Daniels coming back, Jaden coming back, and I don't think that they're going to be fully in sync. I think the Chargers also felt embarrassed last week, getting beat by a rookie that just coming in his first game. So I think they're going to come back with this. They got they got Harbaugh as their coach. I doubt he's going to let them lose 2 games in a row. So I'm going to go with the Chargers, and I'm not going to lock this in, but I'm going to take the over in this one.
I also have the Chargers in the over, and I am locking this in. This will be my 4th lock of the week. I like the Chargers to bounce back pretty well here. My biggest concern of the Commanders going into the season was the age of their defense. And I watched a replay of that game against Atlanta, and I watched Bobby Wagner try to chase Bijan Robinson, and it did not look good. Didn't look good at all. He was trying, but he looked like me out there. And I honestly said, yeah, if this is how this defense is going to play, and Bobby Wagner is one of their best, right? We're not talking about like a bum player here. He's one of the better players on this defense. It's just not looking good. Marshawn Lattimore hasn't looked good. Like this team defensively has looked really, 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 really tough. on that side of the ball. So I'm going to stick with the Chargers here, bouncing back pretty well against them, and I'm going to lock them in as well. Levon, over to you.
I really like the fact that the Giants beat the Chargers and send a hungry Charger team and sick them on the Commanders.
Up,
I'm breaking up.
Oh, there you go.
Uh-oh.
Now we can hear you. Go ahead. Go start over again.
Can you guys hear me? No, I was just saying.
I heard you say I really liked the Giants. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
I heard you say I really liked the Giants, and then that was it.
Oh yeah, the fact the Giants beat the Chargers and then sick them on the Commanders, coming off of a loss, they're going to be pretty eager not to lose 2 in a row and surrender the cushion that they built up over the Chiefs right back to them. So I like the Commanders. I like the Commanders to lose, and I like the Chargers to win the over. And scary Terry McLaurin has been ruled out for this game, so I'm locking it in. Uh-oh. What happened? No one can hear me?
No, we can hear you. I can hear you.
That was on a super delay. I don't know if Ant and Ace look like...
I think you said you got Chargers in the over.
Yeah, Chargers over, lock, and Terry McLaurin was ruled out.
I think... Look.
What's going on?
I can hear you. I just took my camera off.
Oh, cool.
We can hear you.
We all paused. I was like, did it freeze? I lost picture on you, on Ant and Ace, and Malik was just frozen looking at the TV screen.
All right. Move on. 2 games left. We're going to push through. Patriots at the Bills, Sunday Night Football. This is going to be an interesting game here. The Bills are 8.5-point favorites against the Patriots. This is Josh Allen versus baby Josh Allen, apparently. Everybody's calling Drake May the new Josh Allen. I don't know where this is coming from, but yeah, whatever you want to call it. The Bills, again, 8.5-point favorites. The over-under is the highest of the week, 50.5. And you know the AFC East very well. I'm going to start with you here. What are you thinking?
Everybody that plays good is all of a sudden the new Josh Allen. We was just talking about that with the Giants and what's the name? But I'm gonna go with the Bills in this one. It's obvious here. The Bills are at home. The Bills are a better team. The Bills actually have Josh Allen, the actual MVP. I'm gonna go with them. And I'm gonna take this as my final lock of the week, and I'm gonna take the over in this one. I think the Patriots are a good team. They kind of showed it, but I don't think they're an elite playoff team yet. So I'm gonna go with the Bills on this one. And like I said, I'm gonna take the over, and I'm gonna lock this in as my final lock.
Ace.
The Bills don't cover when they're favored, and they're not going to cover this one. Locking in the Pats, give me those 8.5 points. I'm going to take that. And that's all I got to say. Their defense is terrible. Drake May is going to look like Josh Allen because that's how bad the Bills' defense is playing. Give me the Pats, and I'm locking them in. My final lock of the week, I think.
Yes. Looks like you have 6, but we can go through it to see where.
Ace always have 6. I think we need to bump this up to 6.
I also have the Patriots, and I'm locking them in as well as my final lock of the week. The Bills play it close. Just like Ace said, they don't cover when the number's big. They don't cover, and they don't seem to care either. They're going to win however they want to win. This is a divisional game. Vrabel's going to try to keep this game close. And Drake May has been playing well. Not Josh Allen well, but he's been playing pretty well so far. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Patriots. I'll take those 8.5 points. I'll lock it in as well. Levon, over to you.
The Bills need to do what they're supposed to do. They didn't win by 15, but they won by 12.
You may be muted, Levon. We can't hear you if you're talking.
Uh-oh. Can't hear me? I'm not muted.
No, you're not muted, so you probably can't hear us.
What? I can hear you.
All right.
Well, let me write something in the chat. Wait a minute. Can you hear me? Okay. I can
All right.
hear you.
Levon, you're coming in really, really choppy.
Yeah, I thought something was happening with me.
Text us your pick.
Bills better cover.
All right.
This
We'll
time.
have Levon text us his pick because it's really not covered through very well. But anyway, all right, let's move on. Last game of the slate. The Kansas City Chiefs going to Jacksonville. You're not muted, but we can't hear you. You're choppy, very, very choppy. Chiefs going to the Jaguars, going to Jacksonville to play against the Jaguars. The Chiefs are 3-point favorites on the road heading to Jacksonville. And the Chiefs are 3-point favorites on the road heading to Jacksonville. The over-under is 46.5. Let's close this out. Let's close this out and see where we land. Ant, start with you.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs in the over. I'm just going to say it like that.
You say you don't believe in the Chiefs? You're going to take the Chiefs?
No, I don't believe in Jacksonville. My fault. I'm over here rushing it through. I don't believe in Jacksonville per plus. I'm going to take the Chiefs in the over.
Chiefs in the over. Eighth.
Why would you do that?
Duval. Give me the Jags.
Gotta take me a while before I believe in that because I still keeps rolling in my head all the time. That's the reason why I don't want to pick them.
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
And them Jags. I believe in Travis Hunter. He's going to have a breakout game.
I believe in Santa Claus is a better coach.
That's the thing I want to see. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I'm gonna take the Chiefs in the over. I want to see a good game here. Not locking it in, but I want to see Travis Hunter play. I want to see him finally, do something. He's been pretty mediocre on both sides of the ball so far. He hasn't been great on either one. So I want to see him like shine in one area if possible.
Me too, for fantasy reasons.
Yeah, either as a corner or as a wide receiver. Just go out there and have a good and play and have a good time and play on both sides of the ball and make something happen on Monday Night Football. Levon, if we can hear you, Chiefs, Jags, what are you thinking? If you can hear us.
I typed it.
I don't think you can.
I can.
You have to text that one too.
I texted
All
it.
right, we'll get Levon's picks. Excuse me, for the last two games and his last lock. Assuming his last lock is one of those games. We'll get that and we'll deliver it on our. We'll deliver it, on another show. All right, before we roll up out of here. Oh, you did. He did type it. All right, he typed it. He said Bills better cover.
That's right.
Locking it in. And I don't see anything for the Chiefs game.
What do you mean this app? I better not
Just say Chiefs or Jags, bro.
I typed it a long time
Wrap
ago.
it up, B.
I typed it.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Ace, you got any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I got a bunch of shout outs. Shout out to Ben Johnson. Shout out to Levon. Looking like Teddy Riley during the pandemic on Instagram.
What?
Not knowing how to use the internet. I love that for you. Shout out to that TV show, The Pit. It is amazing. I've been watching it. I've been binge watching it every night, losing sleep. It is the most intense show about doctors I've ever seen, and I'm loving it. And shout out to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I enjoyed that show thoroughly. It's pretty hilarious. I can't believe they're in their 17th season. And I hope this show lasts as long as that show. And I hope everybody who's listening over in Australia, in the UK, Ireland, and Germany keep enjoying us and keep downloading us and paying attention. All right? I hope y'all win when we win. Peace.
Yeah,
I just got one shout out. Shout out to both Rex Ryan and Shador Sanders for creating quite an inner beef. They basically did this year's Kendrick Lamar and Drake. You have Rex Ryan over here coming on ESPN, basically pushing his old school style, whatever, with the old fuddy duddies in the NFL want to happen. You know, if a quarterback, no matter what you are, you're supposed to sit your behind down, whatever, be quiet. Shedeur Sanders is still breaking barriers and still coming through and still showing himself on the cameras, still jumping in front of those media people and still giving answers. And he had a perfect meme this week with him giving answers without giving answers, basically just moving his lips, not saying nothing. Because it's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shedeur Sanders in a week or two showing up and playing in the game, so they can stop this BS. But as you can see throughout the whole week, as soon as something started with them, all of a sudden this became the story of the week. Nobody cared about it, nobody else. So shout out to them to make the NFL great again.
One more shout out from me. Shout out to Nafisa Collier for blaming the current WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelberg. She just eviscerated that woman in a pre-prepared statement and I'm not saying she's going to get fired, but I can't imagine the owners of the league are going to extend her through the next CBA once these CBA negotiations are finished. That's it for me. I'm done.
You took one of my shout outs. As usual, Ace, take my shout out, step in, take a shout out that I had. Shout out, of course. Yes, I was going to do the same exact shout out to Nafisa Collier and to Caitlin Clark for backing up Nafisa Collier. She just came out earlier today and agreed. And Caitlin Clark being the name and the face that she is for the WNBA, gives credence and validation to what Nafisa Collier said, and I definitely shout her out. Shout out to Asia Wilson and all of the players who backed up Nafisa Collier's statements and have stood behind her 100%. Look, there's one thing that we say a lot. We haven't seen this a lot in the men's sports. We don't see this a lot in the men's sports where the president of the Players Union or the Players Association speaks out, and you have all of these other star athletes within this space being vocal. I mean, we've clamored, we've asked, people have begged for LeBron to speak out on NBA issues in the past, and he's refused to do so. Especially according to for the labor situations. We don't hear from Kevin Durant. We don't hear from all of these guys. But in the WNBA, we're hearing from the top stars. We're hearing from the big names. That's big. That's a big thing. And hopefully that winds up getting these ladies the recognition and the pay that they so rightly deserve, because clearly they're making a whole lot of money for this league. They just had their first 40-game season. The numbers were pretty good. The playoff numbers have been pretty good. The statistics, the viewership is up. People are watching, people are paying attention, and people are selling, people are buying tickets. So these women should get their just due as a result of that. Shout out to the Yankees for winning the wild card, beating the Boston Red Sox and advancing themselves to the ALDS. Next up is Toronto. Like I told you guys before, I don't like the draw, but we're currently favored to win the series, but not favored to win game one. So we'll see what the hell that looks like. Just probably because we can't start Max Fried. He won't be available to start in that first game against them. But shout out to the Yankees for getting moving on to the next round. Hopefully we're able to have another celebration in about a week after taking out the Blue Jays. And last but not least, shout out to the San Francisco 49ers. Nobody picked you guys to win this game. And you won this game in LA. So guess what? Mac Jones, 342 yards passing, 2 TDs, had a great game. Outdueled Matthew Stafford and the Rams and won this football game 26-23 in overtime. I can't wait to hear all of the people talk to the people that put the Rams in their top 5 in the NFL and the people that put the Rams above all these other teams in the NFC. I want to see what they have to say now about them losing at home to a depleted San Francisco 49ers team. Shout out to them for taking control and getting that victory. LeVon,
you had out of the Super Bowl, out of the playoffs, out of the Hall of Fame.
I wish we were counting these, but we're not.
We are not. We are not counting these. We don't count Thursday Night Football. But
But
Levon, did you have another shout out other than that one that you posted in shouting out the Giants?
so you guys got all of my picks and all of that stuff. I could
We
hear
did not
everything
get
you
your
guys
Chiefs
were saying.
pick.
Allegedly.
We did not
You
get your
didn't see the Chiefs
Jags
pick?
pick. No.
Huh?
No, it didn't come
I
through.
picked the Bills.
We got the Bills pick. But not the Chiefs pick.
Chiefs in the over.
Okay.
Chiefs in the over. You guys took the shout outs. Nafisa Collier. I want to shout that out, but not
Ooh.
in a. So
I
I'm
got a
just
better
gonna,
one. Shout out to Caden Proctor for that screen pass.
Shout out to Aaron, who
They
is
just keep
good
coming
for
and cutting everybody
interrupting
off.
people.
Offensive tackle.
He's always
That was
good
an
for
amazing
interrupting
play.
people. He's good for that. Shout out Ace and his art of interruption, which he should coin. Anyway, I want to shout out the situation. I think it was in. I like Nafisa Collier a lot.
Wait, Jersey Shore?
She's one of my favorite players in the WNBA. But I think it was in bad taste that she chose to do what she did when she did it. I think it took away from the WNBA playoffs, which are still going on. And the fact that that should be the story, like Malik just said. Did I get frozen again? I think I did get frozen again.
No, you're there. You're there. We can hear you.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, because I can't hear. Our Ace must have muted himself, finally.
Yeah, we
Thank
on
you.
mute. That's why.
Oh. Yeah, I just think it was in bad taste. I think the WNBA, which is a league that's trying to get fans, is trying to make more money to pay its players. And for her to detract from the game itself and make that issue more about the CBA, which is a CBA thing, when it should have been about the playoffs and the two teams in the finals, the first finals where it's actually going to go 7. Well, it could go 7 games. They're doing a 7-game elimination. I just think it was poor timing. And I think it was in poor taste for the coach to go onto the court like she did. That call could have went either way. Bad calls happen in sports. In sports, they just happen. And, I mean, I thought that was a foul. It looked like a foul. I think Nafisa should get that call, but she didn't. And they lost. And I think for her to come out after that and attack the league the way she did, valid, true, but poor timing. I think it would have been best served if she would have waited to after the finals had been completed and then come out and made her statement. So yeah, I wanted to shout out that because that was my take on that. I just thought that it was ill-timed because it took away from the sport, and especially if the league is trying to gain traction. Shout out to the New York Knicks for the second week in a row. First preseason game. Basketball season is about to get started. It's exciting. The Knicks are favored. Being that, we are listened to, I don't want to name names, but there was actually a famous an analyst or a talking head that had the nerve to say that he was happy, for lack of a better word, I'm not quoting him, but he was happy that certain players were injured and that they wouldn't be able to hinder the Knicks' chances of advancing to the NBA Finals. And I just thought it was a pretty despicable and spineless thing to say, to celebrate injury to other players so that it would benefit your team's chances of advancing or winning. I think that all of us are old enough now as men. Maybe when we were kids, we would kind of celebrate injuries and be happy that certain players were hurt, but we don't do that as men. I mean, we recognize injuries, but we do not celebrate them and say things like, oh, such and such is out. So now, our chances of winning are greater because of it. Just not in that fashion. I just thought it was in poor taste. I'm not going to mention any names, but that happened over the week and I happened to hear it. And I just wanted to get you guys' take on that, among other things, if you thought that something like that would be in poor taste or not.
If you're gonna take a shot at the king, you best not miss. We know who you're talking about, Stephen A. Smith.
Okay, well, you name names. There you go. Yeah, I just thought that was
Isn't it a
important.
surprise?
I thought that was in poor taste to just say like, yeah,
He
Tatum is
wasn't
out.
happy that they were hurt. He says, "I hope they take advantage of this 1 year
No,
where
that's
those
not
two
how he
players are
said it.
not going to be here."
That is not how he said it. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but I know it made me take note because he was like, "My Knicks are gonna win, and I hope that
He
such and
said they're
such
going to
don't
the
come
NBA
back." I think he
Finals.
said he hopes they don't come back, or he hopes they stay out long enough for the Knicks to get to the finals.
Two
You know what I'm
things:
saying? And I
Indiana
mean, we
lost Miles
actually
Turner.
did beat Boston while
Yes,
Tatum was on the floor. I
correct.
mean, we did do that, and we could beat them again, and we
And
could
they
beat
don't have Drew
Indiana.
Holiday.
So I mean, I just didn't. I thought that was in poor taste for
Yeah.
him to say that the way he did as a Knick fan. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that's why I wanted to ask. I mean, maybe y'all already know how I feel about certain analysts, especially on that show. So maybe I'm biased. I don't know, but I just thought it was a poor taste, man.
Maybe you should watch Gil's Arena.
Yeah, I think Tatum was like shooting jumpers, and it was like, yeah, he's close to coming back, and then he came out and said, "Well, not this year." Something he said.
I can't believe that he's actually out there shooting jumpers, and I can't believe that. I get that he's in his 20s, but I'm shocked that he'll actually be able to return after the All-Star break if he chooses, which feels way too soon for a basketball player.
Modern medicine, bro. That's why I'm not too broken up over Malik Neighbors' injury, because it's like he's 22. It's an ACL. Everybody seems to tear their ACL, and they come back. And that whole MetLife thing is crazy because Tyreek Hill ripped his knee up on grass. So what are we talking
Different
about?
type of turf, and Tyreek Hill is much older.
Anyway, excuse me. He ripped his knee up, dislocated it, MCL,
Tyreek
ACL
fell
on
awkwardly.
grass.
That had nothing to do with the grass. That was how he was tackled.
Yeah, he was tackled and he fell down awkwardly.
He was on grass when he hurt himself. Not everybody who hurts themselves at MetLife is just walking and all of a sudden they collapse.
MetLife
ACL
Stadium
goes
has had more ACLs and Achilles tears than any other field.
Aaron Rodgers just basically walked in there and that should happen.
Since it was installed in 2013, 14. And it has to do with that stadium and 10 other stadiums who use that same type of turf.
I was listening to a podcast and they actually did research on this, and that is incorrect because he actually broke it down. He actually broke it down from
falsehoods.
2020, and the Giants put in a different type of turf, I think, in 2023. They put in a different type of turf. It's just one of those things that's going around the league. Like anything else New York attached to it, people want to attach to that, say, oh, it's the MetLife turf.
Good thing they're in New Jersey.
Stadium's cursed, all them dead bodies and all them dead bodies.
It's just a bunch of nonsense.
If they played in New York, they'd have much better luck.
It's just a bunch of nonsense.
But the Jets tried, but back then, Bloomberg, who was the mayor back then, decided not to help them out to get the stadium in Manhattan. So
fair. All right, y'all.
All right, we're gonna roll up out of here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Because this could have been a conversation going on forever.
Till next week. Keep your ACLs intact.
Right.
Peace.
Peace out. Out like the Jets for the rest of the